Greetings everyone. This video is designed to help you get started using GSS Data Explorer. And in this video what I'm going to do is demonstrate how to create a project. What I want you to know from the beginning is that this program or this website is kind of quirky, kind of difficult to use. So you're going to have a little bit of patience and kind of hang in there to use this program. One thing that I've learned is that it's important to clear your data cache when using this, and also to make sure your pop-up blocker is not preventing the website from operating. So to create a project, it's pretty straightforward. We click on Create. I'm going to use my last name, and then the description. I can call this Assignment 1 because it is for Assignment 1. And I'll go ahead and create the project. Then we want to select Public and Continue. And we want to make sure we get this Excel workbook with the data and the metadata checked, because we want to have our data downloaded in an Excel format to be used for the third part of this assignment, and then for later on for week 8, the research paper, and then continue and get started. And so what you'll notice is that 4 windows are created under this project summary. And so we have our variables. We can search for variables here. We can do some different kinds of data analysis, although we'll use SPSS for the data analysis. And then we can extract variables from the huge number of variables that have been collected by social scientists over the years. So to get started, the first thing we want to do before we do the extract is to look at our variables. And year and ID, those variables are automatically checked and they're in your cart. Well, year, ID, and there's one other one, it's called the ballot number. So that's what that is actually the form number, and we don't see that represented here. We won't analyze that kind of data. But then you have these different variables that are listed, and so you can go down through here and look at all kinds of variables like marital type, the type of industry that somebody works in, ever been widowed. There's just a huge amount of data. So if I'm interested in this data and I want to look at it to see if it's something I want to analyze and explore in more detail, I can click on that link. And so, what this says is, last week you were working full-time, part-time, going to school, keeping house, or what? And the qualifier is, if you're working full-time or part-time, how many hours did you work last week at all jobs? So for each person, you have the number of hours that are worked over the course of, through 2018. So that just gives you an idea. And then it has a little area here that has related variables. So if you're interested in how many hours people work, that might be a variable that you could select. So I'm going to add that to the cart, or I can go back to the variable results, and I can just add it to the cart here. So I'm going to add the number of hours worked last week, and then I'm going to add labor workforce status. So that's a categorical variable where you're working full-time, part-time, going to school, or keeping house. And so I'm going to download, or I'm going to I'm going to extract those variables. So I check those 2, and I've got 5 in my cart. And again, it doesn't show the ballot. The ballot number is the form that was used for the person to fill out the survey. And so then I'm going to go to Actions, and I'm going to go Extract. And so under extract, I'm just going to call this Capella 21. I'm going to call that my data. I'm going to call this assignment 1 and then go next. Now the variables that I'm interested in is the respondent ID, because it's kind of a placeholder. Then I want the labor workforce status, so full-time, part-time, or what. And then I want to use the number of hours worked. And I'm not going to worry about the year because I'm only going to select 1 or 2 years to download. So the ballot used for the interview, again, that's not analyzed. It is just like if you were to take a test form A and your buddy took test form B, but it measured the same thing. It's really just sort of additional information that we don't need to use. And so then I go next, and I'm not going to use this case selection. I could select by, let's say, a certain number of hours worked, or by respondent ID. So if I wanted respondents 1 through 250, I could do that. But what I'm going to do is skip that part, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to select 1 year. I'm going to select the year 2008. You could select any of these years. My recommendation is do not select more than 2 or 3 years, or it'll take a long time for the data to download, because there's hundreds of data within each variable. And then so we've done that, and then we go create the extract. And so you can see that I've got my extract here. Now this is still working, but my extract has been created. This will keep running like it's still downloading, but it really isn't. And so I can click on my extracted data, and this gives me the information that I've extracted, the respondent ID, the labor force status, and the number of hours worked. And here are the different formats. And so this little button here, I can push this, and I can save this file. And remember, in your directions, it says save or download and save the Capella or the .tr.gz file. So whatever you name this, the file will have this extension on it, tr.gz. And so I can go OK, and I can save that folder. And so it's in my download file. And so I can go here and open my downloads, and I can see it right here. And then I can double click on it, and it opens up to that Capella folder. And what you'll notice is there's different data sets in there. Well, they're the same data, but they're different formats. So you got the program SAS, you got the program Excel, then you've got a straight data file that can be opened up by SPSS. Now this SPSS file is not data, it's a syntax file. So it apparently must extract the data from GSS Explorer somehow. But anyway, you go ahead and save that folder, okay? And so I'm going to drag it to my desktop. And then what I'm going to do is, most all of us have Excel, so I'm going to open up the Excel folder, although I could import that to SPSS. I could have SPSS imported. So you can see that in your data file, your Excel data file, that you have these different responses. So the first one was labor force status, so that's people work. This person worked full-time, and the number of hours worked last week. Now this is for the year 2018, we're 40. This person, was unemployed, laid off, so they didn't have any hours that they worked. This person's retired, so no hours worked. This person is working part-time, but they still worked 40 hours last week. So you can save this data file. You can, save as, assignment 1 if you want to, GSS data file. Okay. So that's how you create a project and how you extract the data from GSS Data Explorer. So again, what I would recommend is that you look at, well, it doesn't show my project here because I haven't signed out. And why this does this, I don't know. It's another quirky thing about it. If I sign back in, then it shows my project. So it's just one of those quirky things about this program. So please, if you have any questions about how to how to create a project and extract the data from GSS Data Explorer, please let me know.